Presidential candidate Kamala Harris is introducing a bill that extends the school day in California. So the goal is for student schedules to align with their parents' work schedules. School districts in low-income areas would have class from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. These schools would receive funding for after-school programs. Kids wouldn't be in class the entire day, though. 3 hours of school time would actually go to after-school programs. Now, groups like the After School Alliance say making sure kids get to take part in extracurriculars are beneficial in so many ways. Now, first, low-income kids are usually in last place when it comes to education time. Extracurriculars can also help families with the cost of after-school care. However, this does come with an asterisk. Families can pay between $50 to several $100s a week for after-school programs. But Senator Harris' proposal could alleviate the cost. But still, the After School Alliance says it's crucial to make these programs optional for students, teachers, and parents.
The other thing that I love about after school is that it's learning, but it's learning that is not being graded and judged. So kids are in a position where they can get out of their comfort zone, where if something doesn't go right, that's part of the learning experience, where it's a whole, often different set of educators from the communities.
Longer school days have been tested in some parts of the country, but not with after-school programs built in. So it's difficult to predict how it would affect students. You might think it's an unlikely place to battle domestic violence. Several states are turning to hairstylists to save abuse victims. We'll tell you what stylists are looking for and what they're being asked to do tomorrow.
All right, we're going to be putting that heater to work a little more here over the next several days. In fact, tonight we're down into the lower 20s, only recovering to 34 tomorrow afternoon. The weekend, though, looking a little bit better. Still going to be on the cool side, though, but dry. On Monday, that's when we get that chance for some snow showers, possibly some light accumulations out there with a high of 37. Thanks for joining us for The Now Indy. The news at 6 o'clock starts right now.
This is RTV6 News at 6, working for you.
Traumatic brain injury, you can't drink with it. Didn't stop me. I had something to prove to myself that I could drink like a normal person.
A veteran shares how a Hamilton County program helped change his life when it was spiraling downhill.
School leaders are getting schooled on how to improve student discipline. I'm Call 6 Investigates. Kara Kenny will tell you how this approach could impact your child.
We've got a lot to talk about, and it's centered around this, a huge temperature swing within the 7-day forecast.
And in Hiring Hoosiers, a new program to help girls break into the racing industry. They are revving engines, too.
Well, it is a cold evening in central Indiana, and the clouds have cleared. So what does that mean for overnight temperatures?
We're joined now by Chief Meteorologist Kevin Gregory with the answer.
Cold.
On that. Gotcha.
Cold, but
done with the forecast.
Yeah, even colder temperatures down the road a little bit. So we've got a shot of cold air, a little break, and then we're back at it early next week. Let's talk about what's happening right now. It's time to talk temperature and wind chill. The wind chill feels like 24 in Indianapolis. The actual temperature 32. Look around, temperatures below freezing in most locations to the north and northwest. Well, it's 37 right now, the actual temperature in Columbus. It's the north wind that has your attention, shifting to the northwest, generally 5 to 10 miles per hour. It's a cold direction, but what it's done is brought in drier air. The clouds have been pushed out of the state now to the south and east. While you sleep tonight, temperatures at 11 o'clock when we get together will be in the upper 20s. By the morning hours, lower 20s. In Indianapolis. Outlying areas, I think north will be in the teens from Lafayette to Muncie. Temperatures just south right around that 20-degree mark. Tomorrow, a mixture of clouds and sunshine, a cold day from start to beginning. 34, the high temperature. We'll talk about what's ahead for the weekend and early next week coming up.
Guilty. That's the verdict against this 23-year-old Lebanon man now convicted of a 2017 murder that shocked the Boone County city. The verdict by a Boone Superior Court judge came on the second day of the bench trial for Zachariah Wright. The judge found Wright guilty in the 2017 murder that happened in the home of Max and Sonia Foster. Sonia told police that she and Max woke up to find a man standing over the bed. The man then killed her 73-year-old husband and attacked her, allegedly trying to set her on fire. The judge convicted Wright on 15 counts, including murder, attempted murder, criminal confinement, aggravated battery, burglary, and theft. He will be sentenced on January 16th. Moving to the RTV6 news feed now. Just in tonight, former New York City Mayor Michael Bloomberg could join the 2020 presidential campaign. The Associated Press reports that a Bloomberg advisor says the former mayor has not made a final decision on whether to run, but he is expected to file to get on the ballot in Alabama's presidential primary. Bloomberg is reportedly worried that the current crop of Democrats is not positioned to beat President Donald Trump.
The Marion County coroner confirms a woman found dead Sunday in an Indianapolis church died from strangulation and multiple stab wounds. IMPD is investigating the death of 58-year-old Julie Morey as a homicide. Officers say Morey was found unresponsive Sunday in the Religious Education Center building of St. Patrick Catholic Church in Fountain Square.
An uptick in car break-ins in one East Side neighborhood, and residents say if they had more light, those break-ins probably wouldn't be happening. Street lights are few and far between on Bower Road near 16th and Emerson. Neighbors there think having more street lights would help scare off criminals. People are flooding the Mayor's Action Center requesting more lights throughout Operation Nightlight, a program that aims to install 4,000 new street lights.
The Newcastle Police Department is warning you about a new scam circulating through text message. Investigators say people are getting texts that say Newcastle Police Chief Matt Schofield is conducting an investigation into cell phone scanning. Now, the message then prompts people to call a phone number where they are told that they must pay money as part of the investigation. It is a scam.
The Colts have just hit the midpoint of the 2019 season, but season tickets are already on sale for 2020. The home schedule for next year includes games against the Green Bay Packers, Baltimore Ravens, Tennessee Titans, Houston Texans, Jacksonville Jaguars, Minnesota Vikings, and the Cincinnati Bengals. Go to Colts.com for more information on that.
RTV6 is working for you, finding out how a program is helping rehabilitate veterans who have committed crimes in Hamilton County. Organizers say they are seeing results, but they want more veterans to know the program is available. Our Nicole Griffin is talking to one veteran who says it helped change his life.
U.S. Marine Corps veteran Kyle Reynolds served our country for 4 years. He was medically discharged in 2012 after a crash that left him with a traumatic brain injury.
Not being able to make that decision myself, that's the hardest part with separating. I still think about being in the Marines every day.
Coming home, Kyle developed a drinking problem. He remembers feeling like he had no purpose in life.
I didn't realize how big of a purpose I felt like I had while I was in the Marines and how little of a purpose I felt like I didn't have when I got out of the Marines.
In the first 3 years at home, he was arrested 5 times. The most recent case for assaulting an officer left him facing time behind bars.
It took all that for me to finally realize that I need to start doing something about it. And honestly, it was because I was forced to. Veterans Court is everything that a struggling veteran needs.
Veterans Court is a program here in Hamilton County that focuses on breaking the criminal pattern of veterans. It was started back in 2015 by Judge William J. Hughes, and since then, 25 veterans have graduated from the program.
We believe in giving them a second chance. They served our country, and this way, it's a program that can help them with the problems that they created. Most of them were created through the military.
Veterans Court has 3 phases: treatment, education, growth, and graduation. It includes drug and alcohol testing as well as appearance in front of the Veterans Court judge. Since graduating, Kyle now has his own home, and he is volunteering with youth at his church.
For the first time in my life, I've actually found a really good purpose, worthwhile, a wholesome purpose, especially since I've been out of the Marines.
His message for other veterans starting off the program: there will be hard times to push through, but the light at the end of the tunnel is worth it. Working for you in Hamilton County, Nicole Griffin, RTV6.
And veterans who are facing charges for murder, rape, or child molestation are not eligible for the Veterans Court program. The prosecutor reviews each case. The ultimate goal is to keep veterans out of jail, rehabilitate them, and help them become productive members of our community.
Schools are learning how to take a different approach to disciplining students. Traditionally, students face punishments like suspensions and expulsions, but that is all changing. Call 6 Investigates. Kara Kenny got a first-hand look at today's training to find out how it could impact your child.
More than a dozen schools and providers from around the state of Indiana are gathered here in Warren Township. They're kicking off a year-long training in positive school discipline.
Traditionally, when a student misbehaves, they're given their punishment and sent on their way. The Positive School Discipline Initiative pushes school administrators and teachers to focus on why students act the way they do.
making sure that teachers aren't looking at just the behavior but the student, and how can we get beyond this behavior, really work with this child and move them along. And that's deep work. It is mindset shifting with people who sometimes didn't grow up in the same environment that some of our students did.
IPS and Warren Township are among the local school districts participating in today's training.
How do we respond to our kids? You know, our kids come from neighborhoods. We have 6 zip codes. 2 of those neighborhoods are high crime districts. So we want to be able to respond accordingly to our kids and to our families to help them in tough times and in good times.
This approach to discipline doesn't mean students aren't held accountable for their actions, but it pushes school leaders to factor in things like trauma, a history of abuse in the family, or poverty.
To understand the power of one, the research is very clear that one caring adult relationship can change a student's life path.
The training costs schools $4,500 to train 7 employees for a year, and workers are then encouraged to train their colleagues. Each person leaves with a stack of handouts to bring back to their school, including a list of goals like building relationships and self-esteem and creating a calm classroom and a family-type atmosphere. Working for you in Indianapolis, I'm Call 6 Investigates, Kara Kenny.
And Call 6 Investigates has uncovered black students are disciplined at higher rates in Indiana schools than white students. Our Kara Kenny talked with families about the impact that is having.
Just because of the color of their skin, they already stereotype before they get into the school.
Well, beginning tomorrow during Good Morning Indiana on RTV6, Call 6 Investigates is looking into why black students are more likely to be suspended and arrested, plus the financial impact it's having on all of us and the consequences if we don't address it.
Tomorrow begins an effort to make safe haven baby boxes accessible to everyone. The Carmel Fire Department will replace the sign for the Safe Haven baby box at their fire station in the 10,000 block of North College Avenue. Firefighters will install a new bilingual sign. It is an attempt to reach the Hispanic community and to raise awareness of the Baby Box program. Baby boxes are a safe place where parents can surrender newborns under the state's Safe Haven law. No questions asked. The plan is to eventually replace all the Safe Haven baby box signs at fire departments and hospitals across the state.
Public hearings in the impeachment investigation of President Trump begin in less than a week. The member of Congress who represents a large portion of Indianapolis will play a key role in those hearings. Democratic Congressman Andre Carson serves on the House Intelligence Committee. That committee is hearing most of the testimony on the president's alleged efforts to withhold military aid to Ukraine unless that country's president investigated Trump's political opponents. Carson says the hearings will give the public the chance to see the evidence for themselves.
They'll see a line of questioning coming from staff and a few members like myself and others. But my hope is that the questions being displayed before the public will give people a real-time feeling and sense to be able to make their own conclusion about this administration and its excess.
Carson says his criticism does not extend to his fellow Hoosier Vice President Mike Pence. Carson called Pence a patriot and says he is confident that Pence would do what's right for the American people. Racing is a sport dominated by men.
But there is an organization hoping to change that. The program that's getting women to rev their engines just as loud as the men.
The UND men's soccer team is keeping it all in the family. The brotherly bond that's more than just a hyperbole. Still ahead in our Sports Extra Spotlight.
And several topics for us to discuss as we move toward the weekend. Temperatures, they'll warm up briefly. It's a dry weekend, and then we'll get into snow potential and much colder air for next week.
Boy Furniture Galleries. Live life comfortably.
This is RTV6 News at 6, working for you.
Hiring Hoosiers is introducing you to the tools to help you achieve your career goals.
For many young women, the thought of working on an IndyCar team is not even a thought, although it is the sport that shines the spotlight on our state. Fuel the Female is showing young girls that with confidence, they can be the ones revving the engines.
It's a lifestyle, and it's something that you have to commit everything to.
As a performance engineer on an IndyCar team, Kate Gunlock is given quite the task, making a winning car. This challenge is what gets Kate going every day on the job.
And that was what really kind of got me interested in engineering, is how to take things apart, put them back together, and make them better.
Kate Gunlock is breaking barriers in this sport. In 2018, she and another woman became the first female engineers to take the series title. They helped Scott Dixon win his 5th IndyCar Series championship.
Exposure is really easy being a woman in the sport, but in terms of proving yourself and getting to where you want to be in your career, you are in the same spot as everybody else here.
Now with Arrow McLaren SP Racing, Kate is still a minority in her workplace, which does come with a different kind of challenge.
Being a woman in the industry is an advantage in the part that everyone knows who you are because you're a minority. It's easy to be recognized, so you are in a bit more of a spotlight, so your mistakes are also seen by everyone too, so you really have to be really sharp, trying to make sure you don't make any mistakes. This is more visible. If you're making mistakes, it's going to be worse than if you don't.
Right now, there are only 8 women working in the competition side of the NTT IndyCar Series, and just to put that into perspective, there are about 10 people that work per car.
Like the most successful companies, the most successful teams are diverse, whether that's diverse racially or diverse in terms of having both men and women.
As a former driver herself, now an IndyCar reporter, Katie Hargett is working to shift the gender makeup of the motorsports industry. She is the founder and executive director of Fuel the Female, a program encouraging girls to take an interest in STEM careers so they too can be the ones revving the engines on the track. Katie does this during the month of May by introducing Indy area high school girls to talented women in racing.
The best way to get to these girls was really to get them hands-on. Seeing these real-world examples of such successful women, I think really helped ignite that fire inside of them to chase that career in STEM.
Kate Gunlock is also involved in Fuel the Female, hoping to fuel the minds of girls interested in a career like hers.
Girls deciding on what they want to do are more than capable of anything they set their mind to. It's not easy. It's accessible. It's accessible. All you have to do is have a small interest in it, and the paths are there.
And for Kate, the checkered flag at the end is worth every minute of hard work.
It makes the long nights, the grueling overnight stuff, the travel all more palatable.
What's the best part about doing this?
Oh man, winning. Winning is really cool.
And the biggest piece of advice I got for girls interested in a career on the competition side of motorsports is take that first step and reach out to anyone who you admire in the industry. Those small steps can do big things for you to help you get on this career path. Now, for more info on how to get involved with Fuel the Female, go to hiringhoosiers.com.
I hinted at our warm-up for the weekend. Temperatures on Sunday will peak at 53, but look, we got to turn our back quickly because the cold air will be knocking on the door late in the day on Sunday. Sweeps in Monday, sending our temperatures falling through the day. Temperatures will not come above freezing until probably Thursday after that. High pressure settles in. We're on the cold side of high pressure. Even Monday, do expect some light snow or snow showers, some minor accumulations potentially as the colder air sweeps through the state. Let's talk about low temperatures close to a record set back in 1911. That's the record of 14. We've got a forecast temperature of 17 Tuesday morning. Wednesday, a little colder. Typically, it's the second day after a strong cold front passes. The wind will calm down a little bit. Sky clears. We'll be at 15 and the record 10. That's down the road. Right now, 33 degrees in Indianapolis. Most surrounding counties temperatures in the low 30s. Not much of a temperature range from north to south, about 6 degrees from Gary to Evansville. Skies are clearing everywhere, and the wind calming down also will set the stage for temperatures to drop into the lower 20s tomorrow morning, starting around 22 in Indianapolis. Teens in outlying areas. Mixture of clouds and sunshine. We just don't warm up much tomorrow. 35, about the best temperature that will accomplish. That'll be south of Indianapolis. 34s anywhere from Indy to the north. The wind won't be as strong. A nice night, but a cold night for Friday night football. Into the 20s during the game, and the wind northwest at about 10. Saturday, cooler than Sunday, but we'll see more sunshine for the first half of the weekend. Clouds will increase as as we go through the day on Sunday. The wind gusts over 20 miles per hour out of the southwest, a warmer direction for Saturday. That again keeps our temperatures in the mid-40s, about 10 degrees below average for this time of year. Look at that beautiful view down in Brown County. 53 on Sunday. More clouds. That won't last. Temperatures will fall as we get to early next week. 7-day planner over the next 7 days. These big temperature swings, but once the cold air grabs hold of us Monday with some snow showers and falling temperatures, it is cold until we get to Thursday afternoon. In my peripheral vision, Mr. Brad Brown.
Kevin, thank you. Safe to say probably roof closed for the Colts game on Sunday, but back to practice today and some outside time for Jacoby Brissett. Getting back to work. Heavy brace on that left knee. Looks like he continues to be on track for maybe playing this Sunday here against the Dolphins. Miami coach Brian Flores says his guys will be ready for either Brissett or Indy backup Brian Hoyer. That decision's still to come before the end of the week. And good evening, everyone. It's not too unusual to find siblings playing sports together, but there is something interesting on the roster for the Indy men's soccer team this season. You'll see a couple of last names more than once. It's a double dose of "Oh Brother" in tonight's Sports Extra Spotlight. Javier Steinwasser is winding down his senior season with the Indy men's soccer team.
This year, I feel like we just have a ton of new faces that are starting to understand the program and the culture we have here.
He doesn't have to look too far to find a familiar face across the field. His younger brother, Alejandro, is a sophomore for the Greyhounds.
When we were younger, we'd always go to practice with my dad. So we'd always be like, we'd pretend we're professionals. So we'd go out and like do give and goes to each other and like recreate goals, go celebrate in the corner and stuff like that.
What my parents always told him is don't just follow your brother to follow your brother. You know, make your own path, be your own person. And that's part of his decision. He came here to pursue his own goals.
These siblings from Michigan aren't the only set of brothers on the Indy turf.
Watch out, watch out.
Jacob and Patrick Olczyk played together at Carroll High School in Fort Wayne. In fact, they've played together much longer than that. Jacob's a junior here now. Patrick is a freshman at Indy.
When he signed for Indy, obviously I was like, okay, I've seen him play on that team. They're a really good team, so I mean, and we also have played for a while, so I thought that if I played with him, we'd have good chemistry on the field.
In a way, we kind of have the same play style where we're a little bit more confident on the ball. We're much more calm on the ball compared to other people who become more frantic when they're under pressure or something like that. So that kind of does help in a way of, making a connection, for example, where we understand how we play together.
There are brotherly bonds all around on a team like this, but in this unique setting, a pair of pairs are sharing the college experience together.
We sorted out some of the kinks that come with being brothers versus being teammates. So that's something that we've learned to differentiate.
Being here a year with him, I think that I've adapted pretty well to the way he coaches me as a player, coaches me off the field, and just helps me out in life in general.
Steinwasser brothers are the two leading scorers for Indy. 9 goals for Javi, 6 for Alex. Jacob Olczyk leads the team in minutes played. The Greyhounds are in their conference tournament this weekend. They won 8 out of 9 matches to close out the regular season. Good luck to them. We caught up with the Indy 11 today at Carroll Stadium. They will host the USL Eastern Conference Final there on Saturday. Have a 3 p.m. kickoff against Louisville City. The winner of that one will host the league championship game next Sunday night. We'll have more from the 11 right here tonight at 11. Back to finish up tonight's edition of the News at 6 after one final break.
Welcome back. It's time for the RTV6 photo of the day. Look at this beautiful fall scene there. Jerry Wilson captured this colorful picture for the fall foliage near Monrovia.
And as you can see, a lot of those leaves have fallen. So if you want to see some fall color, you better hurry because soon those trees will be bare.
I think there's a road there, by the way, between the trees.
I see the road there, right? You can email us our photo of the day. Email it to news@wrtv.com. That's our email address.
All right, focus
Kevin,
here
you're trying
for a
to trick
second.
us.
Yep, pay attention. That is a rabbit, and that's Vanellope.
Vanellope.
Casey, thanks for sending in the rabbit picture. I needed to pick up the pace. A good evening this evening.
We're going to bounce out of here.
See you at 7.